Konnichiwa, everyone. Happy holidays and all that jazz. You have reached Technically Trek, episode 92, the OG Technically Trek. I am your humble host, Dave Prime, and over there on my right is the Ditzy Captain Katie. How are you doing, my dear?
Hello, I'm alive. I survived. I have survived this entire month. I have had nothing but cold after cold, or just one cold that's been split into three parts. I don't know, but I survived it. I'm alive, and I survived eating twice my body weight over Christmas. So,
I've definitely had my share of food and sugar and whatnot, so I'm afraid to step on the scale right now, so I don't know what's going to be happening there, but I'm here.
oh, my scales have
I
been put in timeout.
But how was your that was pretty much your Christmas in a nutshell?
Yeah, I mean, it was so peaceful and chilled as well. No drama, just chilled, relaxed. I mean, me and my mum didn't exchange gifts until like after lunch, and it was just so chilled. We ate when we wanted, and I've been reading. I've been getting myself better, and I'm feeling a lot more centered than I have done in a while. And I'm feeling like this cold is finally shifting. So,
Yay.
yeah, it's been a very good Christmas. And, I'm glad that everything reached across the pond in time because I was actually worried about delivery times.
Yeah, I got
And
my book. It's going to be a very, very interesting read. Thank you, my dear. I love it.
you don't need to thank me, darling. That's the
Yes, I
thing with
do.
me when it comes. No, you don't, because,
Well, I
and
did
I've said
anyway,
this
so.
before. Yeah, but it. One thing that I love is I love going out shopping around Christmas time, and with all like the little Christmas markets, and just soaking up the energy. I mean, I can't do it like I used to, because of my health now, but I still like feeling that unique buzz of energy. Even if people are so stressed, it's a different type of stress. And the energy itself around this time of year is unique to Christmas. And I love going out shopping. And it's not that I like buying for people, it's that I like to seek out things that I know will make people smile, because that's really important to me. And my philosophy is that if I can make just at least one person smile every day, then my job is done. And so I like to seek things out for people that I know will make them smile. And I feel like I've accomplished that this year.
Well, right on. I say, well, welcome, Lefty. I'm not sure who Troy is, but maybe there's a story behind that. But yeah, once again, here. Do you have any New Year's resolutions? Because I got a big one.
No, because I don't believe in them. I believe that New Year's resolutions are a cop out. I If somebody truly wants to do something, then they will do it. And everyone I know who has ever made a New Year's resolution, that resolution has always been broken. And I
Yeah,
think that a lot of people make New Year's resolutions because they feel, even if it's only on a subconscious level, it's almost as though they feel obliged to make them. And I have a few goals, I do, but they're not New Year's resolutions. I mean, my main two goals for next year, and this has been set for a while, is to finish the series of books I'm writing, so that I can get them at least up to like written, like the beta copies. Um, and get them ready to start approaching publishers. And my second goal is to save money like my life depends on it, so that I can prepare to hop across the pond to see you guys. But that's been set in motion for a while now. But New Year's resolutions, don't believe in them. Goals, definitely.
See, I kind of like that because one of my goals, I guess you could say, for the new year. Hey, Dylan. Is to actually have a script ready for. Usually my script's pretty much the same. The stuff that I talk about kind of reflects on what's been going on because yeah, for me, my Christmas was pretty low key. I'd say it's probably the lowest key it's been in a while, and I want to say it happens in 10-year spurts. When I turned 30, my car engine blew up. When I turned 40, I honestly don't remember what happened when I was 40. I was definitely deep in my alcoholism back then, but Thursday I hit the big 5-0. So just like I was kind of dreading it at first, but I wish Tyson was here because he dealt with that a while back. Not too horribly long ago, but yeah, one of my goals for the new year is to actually have the full script for each episode done ahead of time. But it is what it is. I think I just
But
realized
you've
I
had
haven't
that goal for a little bit, so I don't see that as a New Year's resolution. I just see it as a goal that you are aiming towards and have been for a while.
Well, yeah, but say but every week's like tonight didn't have it ready, so starting next week, which by the way, just kind of put it out there now, is saying starting next week we are going back to Wednesday nights, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern, same channels, same links, same shenanigans, but we're going back to the Wednesday slot that we've been doing for a while. I think it's been probably about a year and a half, year and a half ish, which we started doing it on Mondays because it was pretty cognizant with things that was going on in my life. But things do change. Even the best TV shows,
Absolutely.
they sometimes change the day and the time that they're on. So we're going to do the same thing. I can't remember if we were at 6 o'clock Wednesday or not. It might
I
have been
think we
7
were.
Pacific.
No, I think we were because I remember it being 2 a.m. for me, and that's what it's going to be at our new time again. So it was 6 p.m. Pacific. It was 7
Okay.
p.m. Mountain Time.
Okay, cool. But yeah, see, it's been so long since I've been doing it on the Monday slot. I just got kind of used to it and had to do that time cut off because of my AA commitment. So I can go to that Monday meeting again, which it's a good group. That's one of the meetings I want to take you when you do get out here, Katie, as my moral support.
And I would love that because I would, and I'd feel very honored to go as well, and just meet all the people there. And I mean, not interfere in any way, just but like meet people and have a little bit of a natter with them, see if they can understand all my Britishness. It'll be fun.
Oh yeah, then of course if you're here on a Tuesday or a Friday, then you'll definitely have to come to my home group meeting as well because as a lot of us like to say, the Libitqua group, the LGBTQIA plus. Libitqua.
Oh, I will definitely go to that. I mean, I'm hoping that I will be there for a good few weeks to make the most of things, if not a couple of months. But no, however long I'm there, I'll make sure that I make time to go to at least one of your meetings with you.
Yeah, my one of the owners from the sober house is flying out next week, and he wants to go to an AA meeting. Since he's coming on Tuesday, he's coming to my home group.
I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to meet all the people there.
Cool. But getting to what we're here for, one thing that makes this podcast great to some of the other great Star Trek podcasts is we do welcome live visual and audio participation with with our fans, because I mean you can do it on the channel on the YouTube link, which is down below down below. But if you click on that StreamYard link, that'll take you backstage. I do have about 6 slots available currently if anyone feels bold enough to hop in. But if you're camera shy, you can keep the camera off, have your microphone on, so we can actually hear what you're saying. We can hear what you're inflecting in the when you're typing, because sometimes like different people, different cultures, they'll read something innocuous and it might get taken out of context. But by hearing you say what you're wanting to hear and what you think we want to hear, that helps out a lot.
Even
But
if you have contrasting opinions to us, I mean, we love that the most, because, I mean, as people who watch this regularly know, especially Travis and I, we have a lot of different opinions on Trek, especially when it comes to TOS. And, you know, but we do it with so much, we have these discussions, differs of opinion with so much love. We're just so chilled out. And so even if you do have a very big difference of opinion to me, Dave, Travis, or even all of us, if you have a perspective that we haven't seen, we want to know about it.
Absolutely. And that kind of leads up to what we're going to be doing next week, but we'll wait till the end of the podcast to talk more about that. But I do have to give a shout out to our streaming partner Dubby, which they are a great product. Is saying, if you don't know what Dubby is, it's an emerging brand of energy drinks. One of these days I'm going to say that without getting tied up. It helps out with concentration, it focus, reaction time, but you don't get the jitters of the crash that a lot of those other energy drinks offer. But their mission statement is to help empower small and upcoming streamers such as ours here at Technically Trek, working alongside us, assisting with helping us grow and flourish. Blah, 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 stupid dentures. I say this one goal is I'm going to learn how to talk with these dentures without getting tongue tied. They are American based. They are based out of Tyson's neck of the woods down in San Diego. But if you go to the website w.gg and use the code TechTrek, TEKTREK, you do get 10% off any non-bundled product. And it's saying so, like the flavors I have back here, it's the s'mores, the Grandpa's Denture Water, which it's an okay. It's not one that it's limited release, so it's probably not going to be it. Once it's gone, it's gone. But if you want to give it a shot, it's worth it. I give the flavor a B plus, but the s'mores total A plus. The Galaxy Grenade was definitely got a little bit of a fruit punch kick to it, but they do have Grandma's Lemonade, the yellow one that's kind of there behind me. It's for it's non-caffeinated, so if you want to get a little bit of, you can get a little bit of zip out of it, I think. But yeah, give check them out. It's a great product. They got a whole lot of great flavors for you to choose from. But that is everything that I have on my notes for that.
But also, just one last thing on Dubby. I know it, and I say this every week, but I will never stop saying it. And I do think that Dubby needs to change their advertisement a little bit. It's also good for students as well, for study cram sessions, especially when you get a group of you together and you have that last minute one big study group before finals, before any exam,
I need to change my script.
But even graduation as well, to help you get through graduation, because that is really huge and it's a long ass day. So yeah, it's also good for any students out there too. And I would say that it something like Dubby is just as much directed towards that group of individuals as well as streamers, gamers.
Yeah, try to get through that game, get through to get that final boss, get that little energy boost that you need for. It's like, I just need 30 more minutes. Give me some bump.
Well, yeah, or to start off your day like a day like graduation or finals, just to help you get through without having to be worried about that sudden crash where you just want to like throw yourself into the nearest bed and hibernate for a week, you know, or even just fall asleep where you stand, you know, because that's a big thing. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there.
I appreciate that reminder, Katie. And like one other goal, I'm going to get rid of this, try and get rid of this stupid bump on my lip. See, when little kids ask me, "What's that on your face?"
And I really do hope that you do get it sorted.
Well,
I know it's a big thing.
Well, the earliest that the doctor can see me isn't until the beginning of February, so I got like another 5 weeks or so before. Well, then again, think about it, it's not that far away, but yeah, we got Travis and Zach hiding out backstage, ready to talk tonight's episode, Living Witness from Star Trek Voyager. One of the top 10 episodes according to some circles. I mean, I was thinking it might be a little throwaway episode, but yeah, it turns out it was a lot better than you think, because yeah, say we don't have any living humans in this episode. We actually have a character state the name of the episode in the episode, which I don't think has ever happened before, but there's like a lot of other stuff going on, like whatever's going on with Zach. How's it going,
I think
guys?
he's just having a moment. Are you all right there, my darling?
Well, I'm blessing myself. It's holy water.
I'll
drink it too.
So you're brushing up some spider webs.
Hey, I will drink this holy water in this Classico Alfredo mason jar. If you donate to this podcast by going to w.gg.
Just don't bring it near me, my skin will sizzle.
I won't. I might not get the notification right away, but I'll keep an eye on that. See if I get any orders in the next hour or so. But yeah, the chat
is getting very warm. He's flicking holy water at me, people. I'm getting a bit warm.
I just blessed all of you.
Yeah, appreciate that. And yeah.
Well, I did. The Lord did.
That is a pretty random question, but yeah, lemon pepper, that is often one of my go-to spices whenever I'm making pasta and things like that.
I like lemon pepper. Yeah, I like lemon pepper as well, but I'd rather put a little bit of real lime and real lemon in there, and just a little bit of pepper.
Lemon chilies are nice, but my favorite herbs or spices or anything I put in my cooking is garlic and sage. I mean, sage I absolutely adore. I don't mind a little bit of basil. I don't like coriander. I'm not too keen on oregano. But I really do like sage.
Well, in some countries we say oregano.
Yes, I know. And some of you will say basil as well rather than basil and oregano. But you know, I say it properly.
Yeah. But yeah, see, sometimes when I'm cooking with lemon pepper, I'll just put it in my hand and just right out of my hand. I like it that much.
Lemon
straight up.
Are you on about like lemon pepper or lemon chili peppers?
No, lemon pepper. Well, lemon chili pepper, that works too.
Oh no, lemon chili peppers we were actually growing them at one point. And they are absolutely gorgeous.
I was growing my own jalapenos this summer.
Or as Neelix would say, jalapenos.
Jalapenos, yeah. But yeah, I was trying to grow my own jalapenos, and the squirrel got them. The fucking squirrels got them.
I can imagine how they reacted to those things.
They probably died. Shit, she probably died. Honestly. Because I haven't seen that squirrel in a long minute.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Speaking, I think Katie's about to die.
Yeah, so it's been a while since we broke her on an episode, so but yeah, Living Witness, I mean it started off dull. Can I say back in the time before the internet, well, I guess the internet was still in its infancy when this episode first aired, but just like the Janeway's opening, just like when all else fails, resort to violence. It's like, what the what? Why is everything so dark? Why is she wearing gloves? Why is her turtleneck black? What the frick is going on? And what the heck is with all the turrets on the ship? And just like, what the fetch is going on here?
I mean, it's interesting how it starts because when you first go into this episode, whether you've seen it or it's been a while, you start wondering like, is this like a time split? Like, are they splitting into a different alternate universe, or what's going on here?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's just like, is this a mirror episode? What the heck? Then we find and the doctor's an android? It's like, what the heck? There's a lot of crazy ass stuff. As they're saying, when hit when you take information with a small seed of information, and then you build it based on your own beliefs, your own understanding of what happened. It can sometimes just go way off course. And this was surprised they didn't get into the Gamma Quadrant. They were so far, of course, with the Vaskin's interpretation of what happened 700 years ago. And the fact that like 700 years have passed, that puts it around like the late 3000s, like 3074. So just like, what is going on here? But I say I know Travis had a few little tidbits on some of the things on this episode. Like number one, Tim Russ directed this episode, and this is the only episode from Voyager that he directed in the 7 seasons. So it's interesting that he kind of went for a darker tone. Saying definitely got to show some of Tuvok's humanity in this episode because he's smiling, he's being sarcastic, he's being sadistic. It's like, what the heck?
so basically, a typical Vulcan.
A typical Vulcan without logic. Yep.
There you go. Go on, Travis. We want to hear your voice.
Well, how do I put this?
Well,
When this particular, when this,
before you do that, Travis, say Dylan had a question. I'll let you answer it.
the United Federation of Planets, the organization that governs the entire body of
Starfleet.
the member worlds, and basically it's like, I had to say it, like the president of the United States is the president of the Well, yeah, you could say that. Yeah, you could say president, I say, but in a sense, you would think almost like the the General Assembly at the United Nations, and there's the Secretary General. If the Secretary General will be the leader of this planet, if we will sort of say, hey, we elect the leader and stuff and everything, but it's a member world, so it means the United Federation of Planets.
Cool, but yeah, go ahead with some of your thoughts, some of those like trivia things that you pointed out. So there's one that director thing was, oh yeah, yeah, in this episode too. They got that wrong. But he did become a lieutenant. One of the quantum realities in Lower Decks, he was a lieutenant. So
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is true.
but
Yes.
But all the other hairs were still ensigns, and
I am partially back. I think I have got myself together, but my face is bright red right now, so I'm just allowing myself to cool down.
it's all good. See, I just realized we're talking about dubbing and whatnot. It's like I forgot to get my dubby set up for the podcast, so I gotta go get my bottle of water.
But now, I remember when I first ever watched this episode, I was actually concerned because I'm not too keen on Mirror Universe episodes. And I was actually really concerned that it was a mirror episode. And then when it switched to the museum, I was just like, huh, interesting. But I didn't. I do love this episode because there's a lot of depth to it, and there is a lot of meaning to this episode. I do not like how Voyager and its crew was portrayed, but I do like Janeway's hair in this, though. I don't know why, but I absolutely adore her hair in this. It is so cute, and it really suits her.
I think Janeway probably had the most different hairstyles of any Star Trek character ever. I mean, Troy, I mean, she had a couple different hairstyles, but they were overall the same. But Janeway's were also radically different. And
Yeah,
even hologram Janeway and Prodigy, she had a slightly different hairstyle there.
I mean, B'Elanna had two very distinct hairstyles throughout the series. I mean, at the start, like the first half of the series, she had a very short, straight bob, and it was black. Whereas later on in the series, she grew her hair a little bit, and it was wavy, and it was more brown. Although she also had that hairstyle but straightened as well. When she grew it out and lightened it up. But yeah, I do think that Janeway went through more of a transformation with her hair, but it suited her. What's the word? Her evolution. Because when Voyager first started, she was the very prim and proper Starfleet captain, and very by the book, even though she did like something controversial by, getting Tom Paris out of prison to be a guide. That was classed as very controversial, but she was very prim and proper compared to other captains that we got to know. Kind of on the lines of Jean-Luc, really. Just differently. She had a bit more fire to her. Whereas he was more refined.
So some of the early episodes of Voyager, though, she definitely kind of acted like she had a stick up her butt.
Yes, she did, and this is what I mean by she was very prim and proper.
I rigid would probably be a better word than I would use, at least. I don't know about Travis and Zach, but
yeah, I mean, I would probably agree with you on that. But her hairstyle then suited her for like the prim and proper, whereas her evolution, where she realized she had to be more fluid, her hairstyle changed, and it suited it. That hairstyle wouldn't have suited her at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know,
very by the book, Dylan.
Oh, absolutely, very much. But yeah, her hairstyle in this suited the character you know, her personality as it was being portrayed, and it really suited her.
Yeah, I know they're all marking these their interpretations of the crew was definitely like dark. I dare I say demonic in some cases, because with like I said, with the way the doctor creating biogenic weapons with his positronic brain, which it's kind of curious how they came to the conclusion that he was an android. They knew he was artificial, but they just assumed android.
Rather that, or some of the data nodes that they recovered had pieces of information about Earth and about Starfleet, and they got their wires crossed with data.
That is true.
I mean, that could have happened. But yeah, one thing, speaking of B'Elanna, she wasn't in this episode.
Because yeah, Travis and I were talking about it backstage before you popped in, that Roxanne Dawson, the actress who plays B'Elanna, was just had her baby, and so she was taking a brief maternity leave.
Yeah, I thought that was the reason, but I wasn't 100% sure. But I'm glad that they spoke about her towards the end.
Absolutely.
To keep her involved. But that's one thing that I keep going back to is the smirk on Tuvok's face. Because that was very un-Vulcan, but it also reminded me of when the Changeling was pretending to be him in Picard season 3.
Oh yes.
And I kind of like had flashbacks to that. So that for me was a nice connection there. But I'm sorry, but it just didn't. How can I put this without sounding like a bitch? I can't. Harry being a tough guy.
Yeah,
that's about as comical as me wearing a pink frilly dress. I'm sorry, but that was just no. I mean, it was funny to see. It really was. But no, that was just like wrong on so many levels. And you know, there was just a few things in this that I was just like, oh please, hell no. But yeah, it was very interesting to I couldn't put it any other way, you know. I couldn't say that without sounding like a bitch. And I have no shame. But the way that I can't remember his name. But
well, you can still pop. You can still pop in, Phil. I mean, if we start talking about it, you probably get like random memories of the episodes. So we'd love to have you if you're able.
Come see us, Phil. Let's see your beautiful face.
If not, we're just stuck with his caricature.
Yeah, which is fine. I love his little cartoon.
Yeah, he is a great artist when it comes with stuff like that.
He is. He draws a really good gay gore.
Maybe that's why he stayed away. He doesn't want to get no.
Oh, I adore Phil's art. I really do. He is very talented, and he is a very beautiful soul.
Indeed. We talked him into it.
He said cuppa. I love him even more.
Well, remember he's Canadian, so they use
I
a lot of your
know.
vernacular.
I know, it's so lovely. Oh, we love you, Phil.
Yeah, I would say I tried a slight variant to my hairstyle. I don't know if you guys can really tell on camera or not, but
I can tell that you've got shorter back and sides.
I went a little shorter than normal that I've done in the past. So I was just like, you know what, I am going to do something that's just slightly different, and turns out the place I had it done is about the same price I pay everywhere else. So I might just go to that one again.
Yeah, in a couple of months I'll be having a drastic change to my hairstyle as well. Possibly.
Oh dear. Like cutting, dyeing, both, neither.
I'm unsure yet. It all depends on a lot of factors and if I can reach my unspoken goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I've already started to try and achieve. But I am not going to say anything about that because that is a whole other conversation that I do not want to have publicly.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the episode.
Yeah,
the way that.
No, go ahead.
No, the way that was he the curator of the museum? The guy that spent a lot of time with the doctor. I can't remember his name. Bad with names. Sorry.
Karen. Or Quaren.
The way that he just casually spoke about the atrocities what Voyager committed.
He was dead set on the facts, even though the facts were wrong. And the doctor said, "You got this. This isn't right." And he's like, "Oh, you're just saying that to save your butt."
But that guy who cornered him in the museum and said, "And what if? What if this data says differently to the story you're telling?" And he said, "We'll change our views accordingly." Straight away, I mean, all right, fair enough. I've seen this episode before, but I remember when I first saw this episode, I laughed at that statement because when someone has believed something for so long, especially something that's written in their history, it is very difficult to accept the truth and to change your views. And even when he was confronted with the truth of the doctor, he deactivated the doctor mid-sentence, no less, which I found even more rude. And it took, I mean, very luckily he was a very open-minded person, but so many weren't. And this is one of the reasons as heartbreaking as I find this episode, there is so much universal truth to this episode and so much depth to it. And I'm really glad this episode was done, even though a lot of Star Trek fans probably won't agree. This is probably one of the truest episodes of Star Trek that I've seen, in regards to how history is perceived and real life as well, not just people as a whole, but the individual as well. And yeah, it's a lot, and this episode has a lot more depth to it than meets the eye.
Well, I agree. It definitely has a lot of like philosophical geopolitical. I don't know if that's the right word to use to describe some of the things going on in this episode, but it just comes to the old saying, "To the victor writes the spoils," or something along those lines. It's a sentence I don't hear or use very often, but yeah, victory is written by, or history is written by the victors, and
Yeah.
and the Vaskins were pretty sure that yeah they were victimized, but they overcame the atrocities. When it turns out that they were the assholes to begin with, especially when the doctor started showing his version of what happened.
But it also raises the question of hundreds and hundreds of years ago in our history, regardless of what evidence is there, you know, the evidence is subjective, it's biased, and regardless of what it is, whether it be good or bad, even if there's several interpretations of the same event that happened, like 400 years ago, for example, 500 years ago.
Dylan hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. You know, what actually did happen 400 or 500 years ago? You know, I mean, I sometimes wonder, and this is just off the top of my head, was Henry VIII as bad as people assume? Was Anne Boleyn, you know, was Elizabeth I really a virgin queen? You know, what actually did happen? Yeah, there's letters that have been found, there's historical records, but nobody truly knows, because nobody now is there. That there was no CCTV to record anything, there was no recording devices, you know, and even like letters that have been found written by Henry VIII is his closest confidants, you know. All of those writings are still biased in some way. And so, you know, what truly did happen? You know, I mean, going by the history, yeah, he was a tyrant, but there's also evidence that he had. It's also evident in some ways that he has a heart. You know, exactly. And I mean, they say that there's always a saying, and I love this saying, and it's, I think it's Buddhist. What three things can not long be hidden? The sun, the moon, and the truth. And I adore that. And the truth will always come out. It just takes a lot of time. And maybe in another 500 years, something else will come up that will make history spin on its axis of what we know of it. But to some degree, the full truth will never come to light, because, you know, we can't go back in time and observe, unfortunately. But it just makes you wonder, like with this episode in particular, it does make you wonder how much of our history, whether it be US history, British history, both combined, because, you know, we do have a combined history.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how much of that, what we know, is real, like 100% truth, and how much of it is gone by confirmation bias, you know, by conjecture, someone's personal opinion rather than an objective one. You know, I mean, I still maintain, you know, that what like the Civil War, we just got bored and we wanted to go on for a cuppa, so we just left you to it. You know, that being British, that is actually possibly what could have happened, because we do love a good cuppa and a biscuit. But, you know, we don't know that for sure. And this is what, you know, this is why I always have a laugh about history, because, and I'm always bringing up what ifs as well, because we don't know exactly what happened. And we only know like this much of this much. You know, we don't know everything. And it brings a lot of things into question. And this is why I'm so curious. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love history. I do. But I'm always trying to find the obscure views and recordings, because I find those more fascinating. You know, one letter that was found, or one recording that completely contradicts every other thing that's been recorded. And I'm just like, what if that one letter is actually more truth than everything else? And it just, this is why I question everything. And this is why I go so deep into things, because there's always another layer to uncover. It's like an onion. You know, you peel one layer and there's another one there. And I know a lot of people won't agree with me on it, but I know that there's a lot of people who do agree that history may be history, but it's also not 100% fact. And that really pisses people off when I say that. I've never heard that word.
That's a word I've seen. I've not heard it personally in a very, very long time, to be honest.
I've never heard it. I don't even know what it means.
Yeah. Travis, our genius, what is how do you pronounce Luddite?
Luddite. Travis, can you hear me?
I'm sorry, say what?
We were looking at your resident genius. What's the definition of a Luddite?
Oh, you said resident genius. No. Oh, no. I am I don't have a 160 IQ.
A Luddite is somebody who oh, there you go. There, Dylan just answered it. Who does not like technology and technology progressing.
That's me.
Yep.
Yeah, but I do have to sweeten up things to my technology to
lately
make it work.
Lately, I've been diving into a Luddite streak of where we've gone with technology. We haven't used it to the ability that we could. But at the same time, like Katie just said, technology is a good thing, and if you adapt to it correctly and innovate fairly with it for the betterment.
I have a very love-hate relationship with technology. I think that it is a good thing, but with the very quick progression of it, people are struggling to keep up. And there are a lot of people at a disadvantage because of how quickly it's progressing. And those who are able to keep up with it or are ahead of it, some of those people, not all, but some of those people do take advantage. And that's where we get our hackers. And some people just hack for the fun of it, just to see what they can do, and they cause no harm. And, you know, that's absolutely fine. But there are those who hack to cause harm. And they use their technological skills as a weapon. And that's what I don't like about technology. I mean, I love this kind of technology. Communication technology, I absolutely adore, because, you know, without it, I'd have never met you wonderful people and expanded my family. You know, I would never have had that privilege. And so communication, absolutely. I will always be, you know, a cheerleader for, you know, the evolution of communications technology, because it is needed. Communication, even just a 5-minute phone call or a 1-sentence text message, can make somebody's day. You know, and so yeah, I like communications. I will always be a very huge cheerleader on the sidelines for that.
I remember that. But no, Dylan's correct, actually. The original Luddites really weren't against tech. They were against the, I guess, the negative effects that it could have on it. Sort of like what most people, when you talk to Luddites, they're scared of the automation effect. So the technology takes the jobs. When in reality, that's not necessarily the truth. I mean, realistically, you should be improvising and innovating and turning in the back, Katie, when technology goes flip-flopsy. So exactly. you should be innovating and improvising with that technology, building up your skills, learning new things so you can stay caught up. And we'll get to that. We'll actually get to that type of deal in a couple weeks, everybody. So
yeah, looking forward to that one. But yeah, we'll talk about that here. But yeah, since we've had Bat Katie, so I'm seeing Zooming Katie's going to happen within the next 15 to 20 minutes.
Or as Tyson would say,
Titty cam.
I was waiting.
No, Cassie calls it squirrel cam.
Squirrel cam. Cassie calls it squirrel cam. Tyson
because there was this like GIF or something where there was this squirrel and it looked very unimpressed and it just like zoomed in really quick on its face. And so, I mean, do you know what? When we was doing DT, Cassie used to have a bat and a squirrel or something lined up in the comments, so that when Bat Katie or something came out, he could just post the comment straight away.
Yeah.
Where did Phil go? Where is Phil?
He just popped in backstage. I am bringing him up.
Boom! Hey, there we are.
See,
a little bit of an issue, but I'm here.
Yeah. Dylan was just asking the question too. Just like as soon as that popped in, like a half second later, Phil popped in backstage. I was like, "You."
What light?
Cheers, everyone, from Tim Hortons.
Cheers from
like
Debbie.
And I've just got anti-homicide juice and a lot of it.
Well, Tim Hortons is Canadian anti-homicide juice.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
I don't care. I don't care what most Americans around me say about Tim Horton. I like Tim Hortons coffee.
Yeah.
I also like and get an Earl Grey tea from Tim Hortons. When I go
Earl Grey is good.
Yeah, I love Earl Grey.
Especially I can't drink that anymore.
A little bit of honey.
When I go to the Maverick gas station, it used to be Come and Go. Yeah, Come and Go came and went, as I like to say. But they have a really good English, just a tea bag. I forget the brand. It's a English breakfast. That's a good one that I get in the morning.
Is it Twinings by any chance?
They give a really good tea bag.
Twinings is.
I don't.
We
I'm
get
gonna have to
Twinings
look.
here.
I don't. But I do know that there's at least one Tim Hortons here in the States, and it's in Olean, New York, south of
Okay.
Buffalo. It says so. My friend got hooked on Tim Hortons and took me there, and it's pretty
There's
simple.
one.
Just
There's actually quite a. I think there's a couple of them in the Columbus area, Columbus Metro. One of them I know is in
A
Gahanna,
couple in Michigan.
and there's definitely got to be one in Michigan, and then
Yeah,
I believe down in like
closer to
Portsmouth,
Canada.
Ohio.
at the
Yeah,
border.
and down in Portsmouth, Ohio, they have a Tim Hortons, or at least they used to.
And there's actually about 3 or 4 in the UK, believe it or not.
Mhm.
They have,
Oh.
yeah.
Don't, because things from across the pond have come across here, and I've been sorely disappointed.
Oh,
But I will say, if you really want a good tea bag, Tim Hortons.
No, I'm sorry. Aside from Earl Grey tea, which is like my favorite of all time, I mean, I can no longer drink Earl Grey because it has bergamot in it, and that is derived from an orange, which I am highly allergic to now.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah, I randomly became allergic to it. Like what, 13 years ago. But it has always been my favorite tea. And I've kind of gone off tea since then because I can't drink my favorite, but I do like PG tips in the pyramid bags. I mean, I'm from Yorkshire, and there's a brand Yorkshire tea. I can't stand it. It's horrible. And I don't care what anybody says. It tastes like shit. But yeah, I hope that in the future, whether it be the warship Voyager or the starship Voyager, I hope that they have PG tips in the replicators. I wouldn't let Neelix make me one, though.
No, never let Neelix.
Right.
Keep Neelix away from everything.
Well, in this version, what they interpreted is like Neelix was working security, and we had Kazon that were assimilated into the crew, and poor Jerry Ryan, she had to put on all her Borg makeup again and all that, and got a couple other Borg drones in there. So I mean, they got history horrifically wrong, and
they did. I mean, even just the ship itself, they got so wrong. I mean, it looked awful. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know that's how it was made to look, but in all honesty, the ship looks better when it was half assimilated by the Borg.
Yeah.
You know, it was awful. And I'm so glad that that's one of the first things that the Doctor had a go at him about, because that was just horrific. It really was. And I really hope that they don't, you know, if there's ever in the future, like the future, a major Federation war again, I hope that they don't do that to the ships, because that would just be so wrong. Just half assimilate the ships that they're in.
Yeah, but I mean, they just like so many interpretations. Like wrote down like Janeway's personal almanac. That just doesn't sound right at all in so many ways.
No. I mean, I can understand if they'd got like a data node. I'm talking Borg now.
Well,
but if they had some form of like data node or something, I don't know what the bloody call, or an isolinear chip or something that had a personal log on, or even a captain's log, then fair dues. Maybe that's what it was on about. But yeah, that was just. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do like some of the words that we use, like Janeway's almanac, because that it's very oldie worldy. It's very historical. And it just sounds a little bit more ominous. So it did even though it was kind of ridiculous for us, it fit with this episode.
But probably the biggest thing out of this episode, we don't know what really happened. As obviously Voyager sustained significant damage because they found the backup module for the EMH, say the dud torpedo, the doctor's tricorder that he used specifically to scan when for some reason I didn't write the character's name, the martyr that got Tedrin.
Tedrin. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
I knew it was T.
Yeah, I was thinking Tedrin just came out of my phone. But to have that specific tricorder as one of the artifacts that they recovered, what the frick happened during that conflict that Voyager got themselves caught up in? There's so many unanswered questions in that regard.
I mean, I've often wondered how these things ended up in the museum, but you know, during battle, it's surprising what can go missing. I know that there has been a lot of questions about this episode, like, is it an alternate reality or a different timeline or anything? But no, because this was the Doctor's backup module that was discovered. So it was basically like a copy of him.
See, who knew Voyager had it until that episode? Darn it.
No, it's always been discussed that Doctor's got backup programs and things. So it didn't surprise me at all that it was a backup module that was discovered. But I did like that even though it was only a backup, it still contained the Doctor, you know, and he was still intact, with all his faculties, so to speak. And I mean, the only thing that I can think is that they sustained some form of hull breach during this battle. When they got caught up in the war, they must have sustained a hull breach somewhere, maybe near sickbay, or maybe sickbay itself, and things got swooshed out into space before the force fields could, you know, be put in place.
Well, they did have intruders in engineering. They could have had other forces at other parts of the ship too, and like
because we only know Katie
at 11 minutes.
At least my cleavage is covered tonight. Because, you know, the last thing anybody wants to see is the girls.
Well, there might be some that are watching that might not mind that.
No. I'm on a podcast with, like, a ton of gay guys, so, you know.
And Zach.
Zach, yeah. I forgot you was there, actually, Zach. I forgot you was there. My apologies. But, you know.
You did.
I think at this point, I'm kind of more like an annoying little sister to Zach. So I don't think he'd be too happy about seeing the girls. But no, I'm.
Let me call up my buddy Sean and see what happens. See if he can get in on this. Show him the girls and watch his wife slap him in the face. Or laugh with him. I don't know.
I have no control over my webcam. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. So, you know, I'm just really glad that I've got this jumper on.
So you just need to get some external equipment going on there, Katie. Maybe that'll help. Or just get like a different camera.
No, I don't think it's the camera. I think it's a software issue. I think because this is specifically a plug and play basically webcam, there's no actual software updates for it. Whereas there isn't. I've checked. And unless I'm looking in the wrong places. But the red token you've got to have one.
Call me token. Call me token.
Well, yeah, we are all inclusive on this show, people. We don't mind the odd straight person.
He's the A in the Lebitqua.
Yeah.
I'm trying to quickly read up on the episode here so I know what everybody's talking about.
Oh shit!
I never did see this episode, so
you've never seen this episode?
This particular one I never did see. No, this was one I didn't.
Oh, well, yeah, you definitely got to add it to.
How did Dylan not know that we're all gay? Besides that,
except he's not.
I accept you too, man.
I guess can't see it. You say I got my little pride necklace. My little sister got me for Christmas a couple of years ago. I want to say about 5 years ago now. But yeah, I can't really see it when on the show. But yeah, fun story. When I came out to one of my bosses, she was just astounded. She just looked at me and she's like, "You're gay?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "I just thought you were a nerd." And her 17-year-old son was in the store at the same time, and he just did a double face palm. And I checked with him later. This is over almost 25 years ago. Well, actually more than 25 years ago, because it was when I was working at the Sweet Factory. But I was like, "Are you cool?" It's like, "Oh yeah, I got a lot of gay friends. I just can't believe my mother said that."
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Is I took marketing classes in high school. I paid attention to on certain things. So when I needed to look for another job, I saw that all the employees there were wearing white polo and black slacks. So that's what I wore when I picked up the application. That's what I wore when I returned the application a few days later. That's what I wore to the interview. And of course, when I got the job, that's what I wore to work. So the only time I ever see my boss is when I'm coming in and out of the store. So that's the only thing that she saw me dressed up as. So she thought that's how I dressed every day. So I just like it. She had that conception that I was just a nerd because I'm not flamboyantly gay. I was saying the gay definitely comes out when I drink, but I haven't touched a drop in almost 600 days. January 8th will mark 600 days sober for me.
Yeah.
Oh, hell.
Yeah.
No, your gay comes out when you're really excited about something, darling.
Oh, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, you see, do you know what? I came out to my mother when I was 16, and we were stood waiting for a bus, and I said to her, "You know I'm gay, right, don't you?" And she just went, and I said, "No," I says, "Oh, by the way, I just thought I should let you know I'm gay." And she was just like, "Oh yeah, I know, love." And I went, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "All right."
Welcome to Tech Look at Trek, everybody. Go get yourself some Dubby and use Tech Trek. Get 10% off.
Yeah, anything that's non-bundled. So they do have some specialty products like Chainsaw Man and Solo Leveling. They have different contracts with those people to be able to partner with the anime stuff. Yeah, but like all the Grandma's Stencher Water, the Grandma's Lemonade, the Big Energy Tears. I think that's going to be the next one I'm going to purchase and give that a try. And say that just sounds like a fun flavor. Because it's definitely, the names of the flavors definitely cater towards those gamers that need to go punch through those hours and hours of playing games nonstop. So they just need that energy without the the caffeine crash at a lot of those other energy drinks.
Are these professional gamers or just nerds?
Well, I think a mix of both, actually. See, I'm not I see a lot of them. I now that I've started to get a collection of flavors, I need to say, here's all my Debbie.
Get yourself some Dubby. But remember, everybody, don't use the straw, but just sip it. Don't stick it up your nose, all right?
Yeah, that would definitely not be a
or anywhere else.
Yeah, but one little thing to add, say it's zero sugar. They don't use any like artificial flavors and things like that. So it's a little something extra to know about the product.
What's wrong with the gay? What's wrong with having a gay old village?
No,
jolly old time.
No, this is just saying one thing I love about Technically Trek is that I'm not the only gay in the village. I mean, I've got a lovely group of friends across here, but I'm the only gay one there. Everyone else is straight, and on the very rare occasion, someone else has come out with us and he's gay, and I just turned around and said to him, I just said, you know what, it's nice not to be the only gay in the village once, and he just lost his shit. He was just laughing so much.
I miss when gay stood for jolly.
Sometimes I just like, you know, when I've had a really good day, I'm just like, oh, what a gay day.
That is a wonderful gay day.
Yeah, and you know, I still use that phrase, and sometimes people look at me like I've grown a second head, and I'm just like,
what,
you know,
the gay is gay?
Yeah, but you know, I mean, if you look at, I mean, the stereotypical, which I don't, but I think that's the reason why homosexual men were named as gay, because they were often the happiest people around, in all honesty. And I'm just like, yeah, you know.
Everybody knows that the real happy people, the only happiest people on this earth are Down syndrome kids. Not even a Down syndrome adults, just straight up the kids. Always happy. No care in the world. I really want that extra chromosome.
Yeah, one of my family friends growing up, he had Down syndrome, but yeah, we kicked it all the time whenever we hung out.
Oh yeah, no, they're some of the most awesome people.
I haven't talked to him in years. I'm wondering how he's doing.
I'm always happy when I'm here. You guys make me happy. You guys turn my day gay. Quite literally, in more ways than one.
We're taking this back to 1357. Yorkshire.
Yes. I am a Yorkshire lass, and I am damn proud of it.
I don't know. I'm just a German Jew.
That's the only thing I'm worried about going like hopping across the pond is, you know, I'm worried about setting foot on US soil for many reasons.
Because you'll stay.
Well, you know, I mean, I'm covered in tattoos. I'm a lesbian. I'm a pagan witch. I'm British. I'm not only British, but I'm a Yorkshire lass.
Oh, you'll fit in perfectly here.
There is a slight chance that I may get kidnapped. You know.
I mean, we already know this, Cassie.
You come to Toronto and you'd fit right in.
Well,
that's true too.
You know, but you know that there is a very slight possibility that I will get kidnapped by one of my favorite people in the entire universe, or maybe all of my favorite people in the entire universe. Knowing my luck, you'll all band together and make it a big group effort to kidnap me.
Oh, I knew Mala was part of this plot.
Oh, absolutely. She's already said that. You know, she'd be there to meet me off the plane. She'd bundle me into her car and deliver me to Cassie.
Smaller.
But yeah,
I'm gonna lose this
I'm
line.
just
In the. Oops.
that there is a lot of oh, Dylan, my darling, I appreciate that. I really do. But I'm done with relationships. I really am.
Oh, you and me both.
You know, I would. Oh,
Bet, baby.
I would rather.
That's twice, everybody.
She keeps going to Australia.
Oh, please no. Hell no.
Next time she'll flip backwards and then start going counterclockwise like a toilet. Welcome to Australia.
Oh no, please no. Anything but that. You know, please kidnap me so that I don't go to Australia.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go there either.
If it wasn't for their giant spiders, I would love to go. But they're like monstrous spiders and snakes and
snakes I can deal with. Snakes are beautiful. I love them. They are gorgeous. But spiders, no.
I'm less worried for snakes and reptiles than anything. I'm more worried for quarantine centers.
Yeah, if I got put in a quarantine center, I wouldn't be let out. They'd probably think that I was like the epitome of disease or something, knowing my luck.
I did actually find a picture of him from a Facebook group from close to 3 years ago. So he's hopefully still around still.
Oh god.
But I don't think he's got a. Doesn't look like he's got a Facebook profile though.
Mm-hmm.
But
Godspeed.
Yeah, Dylan. I spent a couple of years working in the Australia queue for apprentice cruises. So I was dealing with Aussies and Kiwis all day, every day for 5 days a week, and yeah, some of the stories I've heard from down there, just like, no, thank you. I got some Facebook friends that live in Australia. I got a good friend for going many years. Say one of the things like what did I do with him?
No, I'm extremely arachnophobic, and that ain't gonna go away in like ever.
Yeah, my good friend Ben from Australia sent this to me about 27 years ago.
Cute.
Oh, that's awesome.
Whoa.
That's cute.
A canned in Australia. That's cool.
I want a koala.
Yeah, it just came stuffed in a little
I used to have a pet koala. It was stuffed.
Don't show me plushes because I will want them. I love plushes.
Too bad.
No.
Yeah. But well, speaking of, it's not plushy, but one of my mom was quite generous and got me $150 in Amazon gift cards for Christmas and my birthday, and one of the things that I purchased was the Funko Pop of Moopsie. That's going to be here on. I'm thinking of getting another one, so I can have one in the box and one out of the box. So if you have the one out of the box, I don't know if that's going to cause him to want to drink my bones. Hopefully not, but.
No, you can. I wholeheartedly believe that Moopsie can be tamed. I want the Funko Pop of Moopsie. I may buy it for myself for my birthday. And I also want a Moopsie plush. And if I ever find a knitting or crochet pattern for Moopsie, I will be begging my mother to make me one.
I'm sure there are patterns out there for that, so.
Oh, I hope so.
You see, everybody, we're actually kind of staying
No.
on topic only for the fact of the diversity, because of the lack of diversity from the episode tonight that we watched. And the
Yeah.
confirmation bias and the racial profiling and the ethnic cleansing
And just down,
and
just
the,
downright bigotry.
the downright
Mhm.
bigotry, exactly. The
And-
culture
And-
war.
Conspiracy to
Say-
cover up
say-
the truth.
And it's actually kind of interesting how Star Trek interwoves that into their episodes. Very subtle, not even subtly, like it becomes a grand theme in each episodic run that they go through. They always theme each episode and to play on something social. So
Well, probably, in my opinion, one of the biggest episodes that dealt with that was Plug Your Ears, Katie, from TOS. Let that be your last battlefield.
Yeah.
It's just unplug. Yeah, take the hearing aid out.
mhm.
But no,
No.
I mean, that was a very, very serious episode because I mean, their
For this,
their bigotry was that they were both half black, half white in the face, but one had the black on the left, the other had the black on the right, and both
Mhm.
thought each other as superior, and their species like killed each other to the point of annihilation
Yeah.
because. But obviously, I mean, some of the species survived because we did see one of them in the Section 31 movie, which was early 24th century. So they didn't annihilate themselves to extinction, but they got pretty darn close, and they had left the episode hanging at the end where
sounds like the
you're
Amalekites.
just like,
The Amalekites.
yeah. But that episode is definitely top 10 in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. I mean, I do have a couple of TOS on my top 10 list. Say, don't watch it half as often as I should. The one episode I watch probably the most from the original series would be the Doomsday Machine, because that too is a very dark.
Mhm.
Say,
Yeah.
Katie. Say,
Well-
died in the episode.
TOS does not appear in my top even 100 episodes. It doesn't appear at all.
Because of George Sakai.
I love that guy.
No, it's decay. Rhymes with gay.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh,
I told you there'd be a third one, everybody. Let's go for number 4.
yeah, I know, Oh! Zap.
Let's go for number 5.
Yeah, they didn't.
Joan.
That didn't take long at all.
Joan, because that was really weird. Although I was on a video call with Emma, my best friend, last month, and my camera flipped me upside down, and I went to reach for the remote to reset it, and it flipped back the right way around on its own, and it's
Bingo
never done that before or since.
See, the Holy Spirit has jokes.
Exactly. Oh, should we have a bingo card? No, we shouldn't, Dylan.
That's just like,
No.
many.
Honestly, if next week any of you lot come to Technically Trek with a freaking bingo card for Bat Katie or Squirrel Cam, or even Mirror Katie, that hasn't happened yet. I'm not going to be very amused.
Because we're so talking about something like a bingo card thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, with the episode, again, just like one of the other little notes was how offended the doctor was when they thought that they were trying to get back to Mars instead of Earth.
Yeah.
So that does add credence to that they did have data logs from Voyager, is say because Voyager was built at Utopia Planitia orbiting Mars, so they probably just assumed this like, they're from Mars.
Well, yeah, but you know that just the fact that they got that little detail wrong. I mean, well, it's not a little detail; it's huge.
From our perspective, it's a huge deal. From them, it's just trivial.
Exactly, but you know, I think that with what the doctor said, and not just what the doctor said, but his reaction. You know, just like you said, Dave, to that one thing. I think that was the catalyst for making that guy rethink things and just, or at the very least, start opening his mind a little bit.
Oh, yeah. He even with his dictations that he is just saying, this guy is so adamant for his innocence. It's just like, how can a hologram lie so freely like that? It's because he ain't lying. But
exactly.
the fact that he was so, he felt so threatened by what the doctor was saying that he turns the doctor off mid-sentence, which of course when the doctor was reactivated says that brings up a lot of bad memories. So that's the way a lot of the crew treated him at first as well. Was that he was just a piece of technology. He wasn't, there was no sentience to him. Everything okay in your neck of the woods, Travis?
Travis, can you hear me?
You're muted.
I'm sorry, say what?
I was just saying, is everything okay? Looked like you're having a conversation. You're pointing at your earbuds and earphones saying,
"Oh, I was just talking to somebody walking past."
Okay. I just said everything.
Hi to whoever it was. Turn us round, we'll all wave. But no, actually, you've been very, very quiet during this discussion, Travis.
I've just been listening to everybody talk.
I'll say, well, it's hot. We've been doing that for 90 minutes almost. It's your turn to kind of put in some of you 2 cents, some of the trivia things that you pulled up today. And it's like a little.
I'm sorry, Dave. What'd you say?
No, my brain got caught mid-thought.
Close it out, Travis.
No, say no, but no, you no, but yeah, you go first, Travis, and I'm going to share a little tidbit from our text earlier today.
Well, I mean, okay, I could say when this episode first came out, it was, I think it was in the late 90s. Yeah, it was in the late 90s for me. I was a teenager and stuff like that. I didn't really think too much, about this particular episode. It went over, I watched it. I was like, flew over my head. I didn't really care too much about it at that time because I was like, it didn't make sense because it didn't show us Voyager as a whole. It just showed us a planet that Voyager possibly stopped by. But, as time went by and everything else, I know y'all mentioned too, could have been altered timeline, all that stuff and everything, but I just couldn't get past the EMH backup module and stuff. Like, how would they get that? Well, they boarded the ship by the Kyrians, Tadrin and his group. They took it and everything else. Ambassador Daleth, nobody really touched on the fact that Voyager got into this conflict, and the doctor rewrote the program stuff to what he remembered. And basically, he was there in a sense, said that they was negotiating to acquire some dilithium from the Vascan. The Vascan had dilithium, and they did not know that they was caught in the middle of a skirmish between a neighboring species and the Vascan and Kyrians. So we sing the doctor showed us the true version where the Kyrians who had this Kyrian museum and everything else had an embellished interpretation of what the warship Voyager, a triple armor hull, 30 torpedo tubes, 25 phaser banks. I mean, that ship was, I mean, it was a heavily armed ship and stuff. I was just impressed that they got it so wrong, but I would like to see that Voyager. But this, in this episode, it really, and Zach pointed out too, that it showed a level of something that has, after watching it, rewatching it again, and then start thinking about what's happening in our own current, as you know, our current status of what's going on in our, you know, politics and stuff. It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder and everything. It's like, wow, they really touched on something in this particular episode where it was like, oh my goodness, did Janeway really order the killing of thousands, and then by the end of it, after a few days, was a 3 million just to end the war so they can find a cyclic wormhole to get home. And it was like, this was so, it was so out of the ballpark of like what we knew of Voyager, and had the interpretation of what Voyager is and stuff and everything else, that these people was just so backwards, understandably, because they had incomplete data of what history was like and stuff and everything. History can be written wrong in certain ways, but it can be written to the point where it has truth to it and everything else. There is historians and people who you dealt in history and stuff. You know, they look at this and they interpret what people were like back then. It's not a complete history and stuff. They assume in this particular episode that Voyager was this decimated warship. You know, they would destroy an entire planet just so they can have a way to get home. You know, because Ambassador Daleth, you know, Dangle, well, you know, we sought you out, because he you know, mentioned they got the interpretation wrong where they sought Voyager out and they needed their help because they had a very powerful ship that can help them defeat their, you know, adversaries and stuff. But it's true that one of the I believe it was one of the Vaskins said in the museum to Quarren, you know, it's funny that, you know, the Kyrians are made to be the good guys in this particular episode. I mean, in history and stuff and everything else, and you know, they just wondering how that, you know, the Vascan, you know, became the such. Neither one, the Kyrians were the aggressors. Ambassador Daleth, who was the Vascan ambassador, he shot Tadrin. He killed him and stuff. They were both aggressors in their own way, but it wasn't nearly as what, you know, the interpretation of what they had thought that Voyager was and stuff, until the Doctor basically, his backup module was found, and you know, Quarren found it and restored and bought the Doctor program online and stuff. And it was just one of those little interesting tidbits is that we seen the crew. And then it's like, oh my goodness, they got a case on the board. Now they talk about they assimilated Talaxians, they assimilated the Kazons, the board. It was like, I knew when I watched this, it was all fake. Before they showed the Doctor, I was like, I was just like, you know, this is such a fake interpretation of what we knew to be true. It was pretty interesting to get that. Also, the uniforms. It was interesting to see them wear gloves, and they had a dark turtleneck under their suits, under their costumes and stuff and everything else. It was interesting to see that they didn't have their comm badges or their rank insignias. It was missing. So that right there tell you a lot of things too, that was like, oh yeah, this is not written. This story is wrongly written and stuff and everything else. And when the Doctor appeared, it really shed a light on, you know, the true form of what they thought the history was to be about. And it gives me, and it went back to me in episode in Voyager's episode. Oh shoot, I can't even remember. Oh, season 3, episode 23, the distant origin theory with the Voth and Professor Gagan. If anybody remembered this particular episode, he was challenging doctrine, and his theory goes against everything of Voth doctrine.
Yep.
And doctrine basically states that the Voth origins originate in the Delta Quadrant, which DNA prove otherwise. And even Gagan was like, no, we may have origins on the other side of the galaxy. And his belief that their home world was somewhere on the other side of the galaxy, where doctrine says no, otherwise it's tough. But needless to say, in that particular episode, he was bought before, I guess their leader and stuff, and forced to refute his theory of the distant origin theory about their interpretation. And the Voth leader basically forced him to say that he was wrong in his interpretation of their origins and stuff and everything. And Chakotay spoke up and said that, he's not challenging y'all doctrine. He's challenging your interpretation of how you think your doctrine is and stuff. And it really fits into that, because it's almost just like the distant origin theory that we've seen in season 3 and stuff. And it was like, okay, there's some similarity about the distant origin theory in this particular episode. But for me, like you said, Dave, at the end where they showed the doctor, they were telling it was a simulation of a simulation that we watched. It was like, oh, what is this, Inception? So we saw this simulation of, some people in the future watching the people that was in the past, they was watching so-called, and it was like, they had a race war, and it was a race war because it was really about race and stuff, because one of the Kyrians used the word token Kyrian, which I totally get the phrase where she meant that I'm just a token on this council and stuff and everything. But it was interesting to see that they made up somewhere along in the future and stuff and everything. And it was pretty interesting to see that it was just one of these things where Voyager at one point stopped in the star system that was in dispute, and somehow, as Dave put it and everything else, Tedrin, the Kyrians voided Voyager, which we seen the doctor confirm. There was, some of his forces running all over the ship, but mostly we saw the ones that beamed in engineering. They caught up with them, and then they got somewhere all the way up to deck 5. It was like, how you go from deck 11 to deck 5 or deck 2? But we don't. Somebody must have stole the doctor's backup module and stuff and everything, because if it said that most likely Voyager kept going on its way, somehow they didn't get in. The Voyager most likely was able to get out of the skirmish and stuff and everything. We don't know what that part of the story is like and stuff. But yeah, but in a sense, this episode, as I know Zach put it, like, it showed a lot of hatred towards one race and another race, and it was like, wow, this is kind of something similar that's been going on that's kind of right now with people of different skin colors. There are some people who are afraid of skin colors here, who believe, I hate to put it like this, I don't know, and people in chat, please, or chat, or anybody in the comments and stuff like that who won't disagree with me and stuff, but there's a certain thing here in the US that is being talked about as called the Great White Replacement Theory. Like, white people are going to be replaced by people of color, and people who are white are afraid of people that look like me. And you know, we got to make sure that does not happen. You know, the kind of like almost xenophobic type of thing where it's like, you know, people are immigrants who wants to immigrate to this country are not welcome. But people who are from Europe, like Katie mentioned, she wants to come to the US and stuff. You know what? She fits in well here because she's white. You know, she'll be easy. She'll be a easy, you know, if she want to take the citizenship test and become an American citizen. She's a European. She's a European white. It will be easy it under this current administration for people like her because that's what this administration wants. They don't want people that look like me or darker than me come to this country and stuff and everything. It has some similarities and stuff, you know, in this particular episode and everything, but I'm not trying to start any kind of big political discussion and stuff, but it just seems like, you know, in the past, you know, 27 years that since this show, this episode came out and everything else, it has more of a resonance effect right now, just because, you know, it has some things that, whoa, wow, you know, we are kind of falling back on times and stuff. And, you know, it almost resonates something with our history after the Civil War, you know, 160 years ago. And it's sad.
I could honestly cry with what you've just said, because not only is it a load of fucking bollocks, but it's cruel. And I've never, do you know what? As much as I understand the human mind, I don't understand humanity, because I just don't understand this whole thing about race. I really don't. I mean,
I personally could identify in with this particular episode just because I'm a person of color in this country, and I can understand exactly what, you know, one side and the other side is feeling and stuff and everything about the whole thing. It's like somebody said it shouldn't be about race, but it is about race. I hate to say it, everything things even in our own
let me
country.
ask you a question, Travis.
In this episode, it is about race. It's sad, but it is.
Let me ask you a question, Travis. When you bleed, what color is it?
Red.
Yeah, when I bleed, it's red as well. And that is what I have always maintained. You know, it doesn't matter. I mean, right. Get this right. My ex, Jackie, she is Caucasian. However, in a summer, her skin, and this is whether she gets a tan or not, her skin turns olive. And she has been mistaken for someone of another race. And when she gets a tan, her skin goes so dark. And yet she's as white as me, kind of thing, you know. But in a summer, like I said, this is before she even catches the sun and gets a tan. Her skin goes olive, like she's from the Mediterranean. And then when she gets a tan, she goes so dark. And there's been a lot of people over the years that have argued with her about her ethnic origins. And you know, and I mean, I've never discriminated, you know, especially when it comes to skin color, because at the end of the day, we all bleed the same. We're all human. And it just doesn't make sense in my brain. It really doesn't. And I've grown up throughout my life around so many different races. And it baffles me why people are so hung up on skin color, because at the end of the day, and I maintain this, and I'm not just saying this for a laugh or a giggle, but if somebody turned up at my door and had green skin and purple hair, I'd just be like, oh, nice color. How can I help you? You know, I wouldn't say that out loud, but I'd probably make a comment of, I love your hair color. Yeah, it's just me. And I really wouldn't give two shits. The only thing I give a crap about is if somebody is a decent person or not. That is the only thing that matters to me. If you are a decent human being, then I like you. If you are a shitty human being, you can piss off. I don't want you in my orbit, but it's got nothing to do with skin color, race, beliefs, anything like that. And things like that really do upset me. That it angers me. Yeah. And this is one of the reasons I love and hate this episode of Voyager, because things like that are still happening today. And we're supposed to be past all that. You know, we're supposed to be evolving as a race. And really not. If anything,
you just use that word race, but you know, we look at people in a sense like, I'm black, you're white, we're the same species, we're human beings. It's just we're human beings that have different skin colors all over this planet and stuff and everything. So the race that we are, our species is human, our race is human. That's in Star Trek. You would say, what race are you? They don't look at you and say, what color are you and stuff and everything else, because you know,
exactly.
alien species look at me like, you know, of course there's a running joke about the Andorians to Archer now, they refer to them as pink skins, you know.
Yeah.
But the one thing too in this particular episode is one of the Vascan even said, you know, I have no problem with any of you Kyrians. I got Kyrian friends and stuff and everything else and whatnot. In this particular episode, there was a lot. It was, according to Quarren, the Doctor's appearance was the catalyst to something that was already building. There had always been distrust between the Vascan and the Kyrians and stuff and everything else, because they, for some reason, two different species. I don't think they made it with each other, but they were just two different species. Now, for one thing that I could not understand is they was in a neighboring star system. I guess they was a planet neighboring. I don't know, because they wouldn't. I can't say that they evolved on the same planet, because no one species is more dominant than the others and stuff and everything else.
But we have just from neighboring planets.
They were from neighboring planets, but they evolved. I guess I don't know if they evolved from one. The Kyrians were from one planet, and the Vascan was from another planet. But they somehow, this didn't really tell how that they come to live on the same planet. Then it didn't explain anything about, like, you know, their hatred or distrust and everything else. You would think that they were able to stay apart from each other because they don't live on the same planet and stuff. And I was kind of weird about, like, okay, y'all two different species, but y'all hate each other, but y'all are on the same planet. It makes no sense. Either one of you have a home world? Whose home world? Yeah. Who exactly home world was it that this episode took place? Was it the Vascan home world, or was it the Kyrian home world? That right there still is a puzzle to me and stuff. But and when one of them mentioned too, it is always about race. He's like, it's that you can't escape it and everything else. Believe it or not, there are people mindset, and when they look at somebody, you know, in this particular episode, they have I hate to put it like this, but they have a, you know, they already have a preconceived notion about that person because of their race. You know, they're not seeing anything. Like the Kyrians look at the Vascan as, you know, something different. The Vascan look at the Kyrians, or the Kyrians look at the Vascan as something different and everything. And you can apply that to real world and stuff and everything else, you know. Despite how much you, Katie, are more open-minded and stuff like that, there are people in this world who are not. There are people in this world who still, you know, look at someone of a different skin color or a different ethnic group and stuff and everything else, and they will see the worst. They will see nothing but they just presume that person is a terrible person without actually knowing them. And it's just like what they say, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but there are people who do. I won't take too
I've
much
been
time
guilty.
about it because it's getting late.
Yeah, see, I've been guilty of doing that on a few occasions myself. I feel bad afterwards because my upbringing, just the way, just like that person,
Yeah.
I don't give them a fair shot. And so
People judge me all the time because of my tattoos.
Yeah.
You know, I get judged, and I'm just like, piss off.
because I do get sometimes a little judgmental with people that have excessive tattoos all over their body, on their arms and on their face, and they're just like, do I really want to get to know this person? It's like, I don't
Sweetheart,
know.
I'm covered in tattoos.
Yeah,
Quite
so
literally.
we've grown to know each other over the years through DT and all that. So I mean, it I don't see him.
Yeah.
I see the you, and a lot more of us has to go by that philosophy if we're going to survive as a species.
Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, growing up, there was a lot of stereotyping where, especially when it came to men, men with a lot of tattoos, especially if there were skinheads, and like facial piercings and things like that they were thugs, they were criminals, and I've never subscribed to that. And I mean, I see a guy like that in the street, and the first thing I'm like is, that is some nicing. I don't judge or anything. I'm just like, wow, you've got some beautiful tattoos. And yeah,
But
I see the tattoos.
What if they're not beautiful tattoos?
I've
actually
never come across that, actually.
What if they're prison tattoos, which means they're just shitty?
I've seen some really beautiful prison tattoos, to be quite honest.
I've seen some beautiful and not so beautiful prison tattoos personally.
Yeah, same. And
maybe the only people I know are just crackheads.
I mean, there's a lot. There is so much stereotyping in this world, and I cannot stress enough. Just like in this episode of Voyager, there's a lot of stereotyping. There's a lot of hatred on appearances and where you're from and things like that. Just don't, because that's just being a dick. And don't be a dick. Basically, have your own mind. Don't judge people. Get to know someone before you judge them. Don't make assumptions about people just because of the way they look, regardless of whether it is their gender, body art, what they wear, their skin color, anything. Don't make assumptions, because some of these stereotypical looks of a criminal. I've had so many friends over the years that have had that stereotypical, like, criminal look, with the shaved heads and the facial piercings and all the tattoos, even facial tattoos. And they have been some of the most down-to-earth, sweetest people I have ever known. And so, yeah, don't be a dick and don't judge is basically what I take from this episode of Voyager, because there's a lot of dickish behavior in this.
If they look like a retard, don't talk to them. They may not be a retard. They might be a very brilliant person.
Exactly.
Let me ask this question to the panel, because I'm the only person of color here. Should somebody like me...
You mean I'm not black?
Should someone like you what?
Well, let's see between your legs, and then I'll judge you by that.
Oh,
Damn.
dude.
This is not a dating show.
I
Save it for
mean-
backstage.
This is going on OnlyFans, right? I'll do
Of
it.
course.
Okay.
Well, it might now.
But no, I'm
What-
interested to see
That's-
what Travis was going to say.
No, go ahead,
Should someone
Travis.
like you what?
Like me, who is, African American, well, black, I should say, because that's politically correct, but a black man in America, or there'll be, a person who is Latino or Hispanic and everything else. People like us should, not saying should, but do you think it would be appropriate, in a sense, to walk up to somebody who is decked out in Confederate, fatigue, given the history of what that meant and still meant for people of today?
Why
Because I
shouldn't
know
you?
you said nothing like it, huh?
Why shouldn't you?
Because it gives people like me a negative feeling.
I can
towards-
see the concern in that. And I can understand
Yes,
the
you don't-
concern.
and-
After-
There shouldn't be concern though. This is my whole point. There should be no concern.
I know there shouldn't.
If I was
I
like,
know.
if me and Travis were walking down the street and Travis ever got any shit for his skin color, I would give those people shit right back, because I don't stand for that. I really don't.
I'll
And
put
I
my piece
couldn't-
up, bro.
But I can understand Travis's concern. Look who is president. How many people voted for that man? If you've seen some of the arguments I have seen on TikTok, the disgusting people on there who flip out, and I can't even, I don't want to even use the wrong
It's-
words on
It's,
this, but
it's,
yeah,
it's,
it's
online edgelords, Phil. Like, majority of people, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but majority of people, because Trump is a Jewish communist. I'm just gonna say it. But most people that voted for Trump in real life, because I've met a lot of them, they're actually very, very sweet, good, truly Christian people.
sure
And,
there are,
Yeah,
and
but I've seen
yeah,
many who aren't, and
Yeah, oh.
the vile things
Right,
I've heard
yeah.
come out of their mouths.
mhm.
I think
Oh, I
it
know.
lends to legitimate concern to be cautious of people if seeing something like that. I think
Exactly.
That's what you
Exactly.
punch
have to be
Phil
cautious.
is touching on something right now that's going on, because I don't want to get too off what we're saying, because to me it still
Yeah.
feel like it's part of the this general overall episode and stuff and everything else. I just seen people who are brown skinned, who
Mhm.
and not black people in general, but people who are Hispanic looking, who speak Spanish and everything else, people who are American citizens,
who
are
haven't been
making
picked
sure
up by
that
ICE yet.
they have to walk down the streets with literally papers to ensure that they are American citizens.
Oh, that's
that
not
they
If they even
are
terrible.
citizens
accept
and stuff and
that.
everything else. And it's to the point where we have to be cautious. You look at you just said people who
Yeah.
voted for Trump and everything else, they voted for him for a reason, because he was a catalyst that was building among a lot of Republicans that was on the outskirts of the Republican Party. Now it
Mhm.
became the inner part of the Republican Party, and it's part of, like, right now, their core of who they are. Trump said, and he said it, he's going to close the border. The border is closed. No person of color has came in this country. They don't want people of color to come in this country, because, as what I understand, some of the people of color are criminals. They bring bad stuff to our society. That you don't want the drug dealers and stuff and everything else. He's really done it. He's really made in this past almost entire year. ICE has demonstrated under what's that, Stephen Miller, backing, because he's been really pushing this on deporting, rounding up people who are brown skinned and stuff and everything else. You have to walk down with your papers. I'm thinking, are we really living in these trying times?
Mhm.
People like myself, like I mentioned to the question about, like, people who be cautious of walking up to somebody and chatting with somebody who is, and your prerogative is, yeah, you can have that. You can wear, Confederacy fatigue and everything else and stuff and everything else. But I urge caution because you look like you support, an idea, an ideal that doesn't go to the American dream and spirit.
Well, do you know what?
Welcome to Tech and Threat,
him not wanting people of color and not wanting anyone other than white people.
No, he's gonna kick all us white people out soon too. This is the United States of Israel, baby.
The majority of criminals in England, drug dealers, pedophiles, rapists, all that are white.
Of course.
You want to know? No. You want to know what they really are, and what all those pedophiles have in common? They're Jewish.
A sickness.
I agree. Judaism.
A disease.
I've read that Babylonian Talmud. God,
yeah,
that's
stringing up by the freaking balls. Anyway, but no.
But to be fair, I mean, I
criminals in this country are white.
I prefer ovens.
Oh. Dude. Oh, my Atlanta.
By the way, I'm Jewish, everybody, so I'm a Polish German Jew.
Jeez, Zach, jeez. But anyway, I know it's almost we're past the 2-hour mark and stuff. I know we should get this concluded and stuff. Katie has something to say and stuff and everything else. Phil, yeah, I'm glad that you understood, my concern. Like people like me are concerned for, people who have those kind of viewpoints and ideology. It's like, we have to be cautious. People, I hate to put it, but be cautious to some white people, because there are white people who look at me and still have a negative feeling and connotation about people of, brown skin, blacks, anybody who probably, I don't know about, people of Asian descent and everything else, but like, brown and black skin are, always very suspicious about. But I know we need to bring this to a conclusion here soon.
Yes. But just as another reminder, we are going back to Wednesdays starting next week. So January 7th is going to be our next episode. That's going to give us a couple extra days to get prepared for the next episode, which is we're going to do the best of Trek based on everybody's what they want to think and whatnot. Saying so, it's
awesome, Katie.
It's going to be a long episode because I'd like to hear everybody's top 5 favorite episodes from any of the series. So Next Gen, DS9, Voyager, Discovery, Strange New Worlds, Picard, Prodigy, Enterprise, TOS. We know Katie's that's definitely not going to be anything on her top 100 list, as she mentioned. But like I said, there's I'm going to have to do a lot of research on it to say, yeah, what one's going to be fitting on that one.
And it doesn't have to be in order.
I have to write that down.
It doesn't have to be in order. It's just some of I guess it's some of our top, you said top 5. They don't have to be in like a specific orders or anything.
All my episodes are going to be from TNG.
But for consistency purposes, I'd kind of like to make it a top 5. So we'll just do a round robin. We'll start with number 5. Say, here's my number 5. This is why it's number 5, and then everyone else does their number 5, and then we'll do 4, 3, 2 to their most favorite episode, and say so. God, it's going to be hard to get some Prodigy in there, but I mean, there's a couple of Prodigy episodes. I did get to watch both seasons. Still pissed that they're not going to do season 3.
I feel about Prodigy like how I feel about TOS. Not as viscerally, but I couldn't get into Prodigy. I found it boring. It just wasn't for me. And I love Lower Decks.
That's how I felt with Section 31. It's kind of boring, and I didn't know what was going on.
Do you know what? I think I watched Section 31 so freaking differently to everybody else because there is so much depth to that movie. It is unbelievable, and nobody seems to see it.
Well, one thing you do got to remember with Section 31, that was supposed to have been the next Star Trek series, but
it wasn't.
Michelle.
Even still.
Why am I blanking on the actress?
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh. Michelle Yeoh. It's like, that's not right. They say, she did a phenomenal job with Emperor Giorgio, but then she did everything that Marvel movie was. Yeah.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Thank you. Yeah, say her star power just exploded after that movie. Mm-hmm. So it's probably going to be a little more expensive to do a TV series with her as the central actress for that, but so they just made a Section 31 movie.
I absolutely love it, but I think I'm the only person on the face of the planet who's seen it who actually likes it because of how deep I look into it.
Well, I enjoyed it too. I mean, it's definitely different from a traditional Star Trek movie, and I think that's where a lot of people got rubbed the wrong way. But I mean, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It went through tropes that were beaten to death, so that kind of like on that, but
yeah.
See, I saw past that, and I saw even past the core of the movie. And one thing that a lot of people didn't like is that apparently Philippa was acting out a character. No, she freaking wasn't. Because if they know who Philippa is properly, they will know that is not out of character for her at all. If anything, it's getting down to the raw bones of who she is.
Absolutely. So yeah,
and people saying as well, like when they were all like this group of misfits and like they were in a serious situation and they were laughing and joking, and everyone was ripping that scene to everybody was ripping that scene to shreds and saying, "Oh yeah, that's not realistic," and I'm just like, seriously. If that was the DT family doing this covert operation for Section 31, it wouldn't have gone as smoothly as it did for them.
Oh dear God, no.
No,
it would have been more Star. It would have been a more Star Crew.
Exactly, for me that was so real because I'm one of these people in such serious situations. I've got to inject a little bit of humor there just to dispel tension, and sometimes because I just find shit funny that other people don't, but I will try to make people laugh just to, ease the atmosphere, lighten it a little bit. And then, we can go back to the serious shit. But that is very real.
Well, one thing I just had the epiphany just now. When Star Crew gets released, we are going to do an episode on that. We're going to do a review on the movie when it gets launched.
Absolutely. I cannot wait for Star Crew. Although I don't know if I'm friends with Manu at the minute, because I didn't get my Boxing Day fix. No, the album didn't release, and it's still not out.
There could have been technical issues. But yeah,
I hope it was only technical issues.
Manu, that's the technical issues.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say one way or the other.
I'm blaming Manu.
But yeah, he's got a lot going. He's got his wife and her parents that are dealing with a lot of medical issues. So I mean that kind of
so much shit going on.
The thing is, though, he's been advertising it for the last couple of months. That it, especially during November, and the very beginning of December, that it was December 26th that Click Tight's new album was out, and then all of a sudden nothing. So I'm a little bit concerned. I'm like hoping that everything's okay and that, you know, technology is, because I know that the album's ready. I've heard the album. I just want to be able to buy it and have my fix of new Click Tight. But yeah, check them out, people.
Yeah,
Wait,
Click Tight.
we can buy a CD.
CLICTYT. What's that?
We can buy CD. How about vinyl?
No, there is no hard copies yet. But you can download all of their releases
And burn it yourself.
Basically, anywhere you can get, anywhere you stream music.
Where you're going, Dave.
You can buy it from Amazon Music, Apple Music, I think. It's on Spotify, YouTube. But yeah, check out.
What
Amazing.
What were you saying, Zach?
I said I like where you're going with this, Dave. Burn it.
Yeah. Those that don't know, yeah, Star Crew is a project that Manu Interame Egypt from Star Trek Voyager. He's been working on it for several years now, but it's I forget how he described it. It was a Galaxy Quest meets Shaun of the Dead kind of thing, where he and a bunch of his other compatriots that were actors in a sci-fi movie, they get recruited into a real life, what their fiction was actual reality, and Tyson Strasberg, who hopefully will be with us on the Wednesday show, because he's got his radio net, so he can not pop in as much anymore. But yeah, he plays one of the Zombots, and so I've being friends with Manu, I've gotten this, and some of his production staff, I've been able to see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. Like, holy fuck, it looks bonkers, but it's just like good sappy, crazy sci-fi fun, I think is a good way I can describe it.
Good B-movie magic.
Oh yes. But
yeah, it's
quick
gonna be
question, Dave.
Sure.
Super good question. So for next week, we're picking out our top 5 episodes
of any series.
I'm presuming that will not include motion pictures.
Oh, you could.
Can you?
Those
Okay.
can, yeah.
Or unless you could pick like 5
absolutely.
episodes in one movie or something. I don't know. But yeah.
Well, we could maybe do that 5 episodes in a movie or two, because for me it's a flip flop between First Contact and Wrath of Khan.
Everybody knows mine.
Oh yes. You never forget your first. But I'm trying to think which my first movie in theaters was. I want to say Undiscovered Country.
I don't know. Should we execute Wrath of Khan or no?
Execute Wrath of Khan?
Hmm?
Or put it to the side because everyone knows that that's a good movie, or
Okay, execute it.
Or not exclude. I think it's the word you're.
No Wrath of Khan, anybody. That's too easy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's far into darkness than Wrath of Khan.
Phil's like, I don't give a. It's going in my top 5.
Now, I'm sorry, but I much prefer Into Darkness rather than Wrath of Khan.
Well,
I understand your reasons why.
A generation. I think that might be a generational thing more than anything, but.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. I saw.
It's a Shatner thing.
I saw TOS and the TOS movies when I was younger, and they made me hate Star Trek.
It's Bill.
It's
William Shatner. It really is. I often call him William Shatner because he is shit.
But yeah, so new/old day. Well, yeah, it's going back to the way it was. To say I'll probably be updating the background again a little bit, because I have to, because it says Mondays at 5:30. We can't put that on there if it's Wednesdays at 5:30. So it's going to graphics are going to change up a little bit, not too much.
And hopefully by next week I'll have a better background than just
Hmm.
plain wall.
And I'll have some new headsets for next week's
.com.
episode too. That's one of the many things I picked up with my gift cards from my good mother.
So is it next week that will go into Wednesday?
Yes.
Amen.
What date
And
will that be?
The
Before you get your-
7th.
Before you get your timeline cleanse on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Technically Correct, dive into our top fives next week. Jump on at 5 p.m. and check out the weekly legacy of the Legacy Right, where we'll make your mind blow up.
Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, I've watched a couple of those. I popped in some of the other things too. Yeah, check out Zach's channels.
Hmm.
Yeah,
What time
he's
are you
got some
going
good
live
stuff.
on Wednesdays, Zach?
5 p.m. Eastern,
5,
which is very
6, 7,
midnight.
8, 9. So that's 10 p.m. my time then.
Is it 10? What did I think? Midnight.
Yeah.
Yes,
Eastern is
that's
5 hours behind me.
right. Mhm.
So yeah, I'll try and remember. I always forget. I'm so sorry, but yeah.
No, you're good. But with it all being on Wednesdays, get a daily dose, get prepared, get your mind blown so you can cleanse it with some Star Trek.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, we got some.
Yes, it
Let's
was.
say
We have Boxing Day.
Boxer Day.
That's yeah. Again,
Yeah,
Commonwealth.
Yeah, say Canada recognizes it, England recognizes it, Australia recognizes it, but not here in the US of A.
You don't have
We-
Boxing Day.
No.
Which we
No, in
were
the US
involved-
they don't.
We were involved in dismantling the Boxer Rebellion, right?
Yeah.
I have no clue what is that Boxer Day?
Boxing Day, yeah.
Uh,
It originates back a couple of centuries ago when the rich used to have their big Christmas dinners, they would box up food and they would take it out and give it to the
Oh.
poor. So they would give it to the leftovers, and they give them leftovers. It was called, they just ended up calling it Boxing Day. So
Okay.
in a nutshell, there's a lot of different origin stories on it, but that's kind of the main gist of it. But yeah.
And that's why we
But-
still celebrate, because we celebrate the goodness of people.
And actually, something else that a tradition we also have here that comes from the UK, and I don't think they have in the US, is we also have party crackers. Those little things that you cross your arm and you pull and they pop, and then you got to wear the hat and tell the bad joke. But we've had those since before I was
Absolutely.
born.
And you get that really crap little gift inside
Little
it as
toy
well.
in
can
it,
be-
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Never
it could be something,
smells.
anything from like a
Yeah.
whistle or a bottle opener or a magnet
Yeah.
or
You
some
comment,
stupid
Yeah,
little toy.
one of the Doctor Who Christmas
we-
specials, actually, they had the little
They
cracker
had
thing.
that, yes.
America,
That's
We'll
what
do it
we
on
didn't
New
get
Year's
this
too. We'll
year.
do it on both Christmas and New Year's.
America, this is what you rebelled. This is what you rebelled against. Fun.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, the British
was-
know how to party, and apparently so
Hmm.
do the Canadians. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Actually, if you look at my if you look at on Facebook at my banner picture, there's a photo there from the 80s with myself and my parents and my mom, and we've all got the little party hats on.
Saw that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's
Oh, that was always a big thing. I would force everybody to wear the party hats.
absolutely.
And
Right
you
through dinner.
know, absolutely, it's something that has to be done. I mean, we didn't get crackers this year,
Oh, yeah.
but you know, I like, especially when there's like a lot of us. You know, like when I'm spending Christmas with a lot of people, I
Oh,
do like
yeah.
to get crackers, and I do like to make people wear the stupid little paper party crowns.
Well, absolutely.
Because they are just they're fun,
cute.
and you
Yeah.
know, if you can't even have the tiniest little bit of fun like that on Christmas Day of all days, and wear a little paper party hat that does not harm anyone, I you know, yeah.
Yep. Nope, that was
Honestly.
half
But
the
yes.
fun for me growing up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can call it a wrap this week, people.
All right.
So
Yeah.
may Spock be with you. Sarcastic Vulcan salute. See y'all next week on Wednesday at 6 o'clock.